Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Nets pregame show. I'm Chris Sheeran. Tonight, the Nets are in Miami, where they are taking on a battered Heat team that might be without the services of superstar guard Dwayne Wade. Vince Carter feeds Josh Boone under the basket, who lays it up and in for two. Nets down 6. You could easily dismiss Wednesday as just an off night, but Vince Carter has been off for the last 2 weeks. Over his last 8 games, Carter's averaging barely 20 points a game and is shooting just 35% from the floor and under 30% from downtown. And he's been held to 12 points or less 4 times over that span. Is there too much pressure being put on Vince? Let's hear from VC and his teammates.
Everybody's responsible. We all have to do our job. We all have to make shots. We all have to defend as a unit. So it's not one individual. It's everybody needs to bring their individual game and of course our A games right now and become one.
He doesn't have to carry the full load. As a team, everybody has to play their part, be in character, and we're not asking Vince to carry the whole load. We got quite a few guys in here who have to pitch in, and that's what we're trying to do.
We expect Vince to go out there and have a great game every night, but some people think that it's just scoring. There are other ways that people can help a team if your shot's not falling, and one of the big areas obviously is on the defensive end. So Vince is capable of doing a lot out there on the court, and all we ask is for him to go out there and do his best.
Everybody on the team knows their role, and everybody has a job to do. And Vince knows that. Nobody's putting all the responsibility on him. We're a whole, we're a unit, and we have to come out and play together.
Despite the losses, Vince Carter played well in those games, scoring 27 in the second game of the season, and a week later, dropping 33 on the Heat at the Meadowlands as he went nearly shot for shot against Dwayne Wade, who scored 34 in that contest. In fact, Carter has been on a roll against the Heat. Over his last 6 games against Miami, VC is averaging nearly 36 points a game while shooting close to 55% from the floor and 44% from beyond the arc. The Nets know they will need that kind of effort tonight, not just from Carter, but from the entire team.
Just keep playing through good and bad times. More than anything, I think we have the concept. We just need to remain consistent.
And then taking on Miami tonight is a case where even they might not have Wade, they don't have Shaq, but that doesn't matter. You guys got to worry about yourself.
I don't care who's playing over on that other side. We need wins. So, if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We're trying to get ourselves back on track.
Now, in his last 8 games, Vince Carter's numbers have declined in almost every category. He's a playmaker. He's a scorer. He has to shoot. He has to keep shooting. What's the best medicine for a shooter and a scorer? Jim, you were a shooter and a scorer when you played. What's the best medicine to get out of a funk like that?
Well, thanks for putting me in the same sentence with Vince Carter as a scorer and a shooter, but really the mentality is that you have to continue to play hard. And I think the key thing for Vince is that forget about, what's happened in the past. Obviously, he's one of the best offensive talents in this league, and on any given night, he can put up 30, 35, 40 points. But I think where it starts with him is I think it's that sense of urgency and the aggressiveness with the basketball. One of the tendencies that I think he's doing is he's catching the ball and kind of holding on to it just for a split second or two too long before he gets right into his plays. And I think that ultimately gives the defensive team, whether it's the one guy playing him or the guys who are going to help him, the time to react and say, okay, Vince has the ball, a count of 1, 2, now we're ready to defend him. I think he's got to catch the ball and instinctively make a move, because then you don't have that beat of 1 or 2 for defensive weak side guys or double teams to come and go after him. So, it's a struggle, and guys, whether you're the top scorer in the league or not, you go through these shooting funks, but obviously the talent, the experience, the ability is what he has, and I think it's very important for him to make sure that the Nets don't think that he has to score 40 every single night. I think I'd start with just putting pressure on people with the basketball.
You're looking at Vince Carter, who's averaging just under 26 points per game this season. He and the Nets are in Miami to take on the Heat. It's the Heat and the Nets right now on NBA TV.
But anytime you play New Jersey, you had better account for at least 2 guys in Carter and Kidd.
Well, Vince Carter's eyes light up when he sees a Heat uniform. He's averaging 30 points a game in the Nets, 2 losses to the Heat so far this year. Had 51 here in Miami last year.
Who is out for the year. Vince Carter from 3. Got it.
Vince Carter, 64 triples on the year, 7th most in the NBA.
In the 2 losses so far to the Heat.
And Carter comes up with a steal, his 34th of the year, feeds Kidd, who put it in with a left hand. And the Nets scoring on the fast break. They have 5 points in a row.
The team is Haslam, guys. It has been defeated by role players after paying too much attention to their opponent's stars, which is pretty much what happened to Dallas during the NBA Finals this past June. So Udonis going house.
Trying to emulate a high scorer or a guy that's highly profiled, but a guy who works so hard, and Udonis Haslam.
Well, Vince Carter up to his old antics against Miami. He has 9 points already.
Dwayne Wade has 27 dunks on the year.
Here's Josh Boone underneath. Speaking of two-handed stuffers, Boone, the rookie, averaging just over a point a game. This is his had 9 ties in the first quarter. This is our 3rd tie here in the first tonight. Jefferson looked pretty good on the injured ankle that time when by the basket, rammed it through. 7 on the shot clock. Vince Carter operating with a right-hand dribble. Nice pass for the open Marcus Williams, who drains a triple. Marcus Williams with his 17th triple of his. All 9 of Carter's points in that opening quarter. Nice pass. Jefferson, wham, with the right hand, right on top of Mourning.
Wow, another reverse right there. What a pass by Carter off the dribble.
Great pass, his 5th assist. 12 points for Jefferson.
About Vince Carter, you mentioned it, all 9 points in the first quarter, but he does other things right here. Watch this pass off the dribble to a cutting Jefferson. He gets it on the other side, and he quick jumps Mourning before he can get up there and block it. Watch it again. That's a beautiful camera angle right there. You could see the whole plate color.
Jefferson with 12. Vince Carter, 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. The 9-year man from North Carolina. Last year, the highest scoring season in Nets history at 24 points per game. And coach, this year he's doing even better. 26 points a game for Vince Carter, along with 6 rebounds and nearly 4 assists.
Isn't he a free agent after this season?
Well, no, he can opt out.
Right.
He can opt out, but he's scheduled to make $16 million next year in New Jersey. So is there a team with that kind of cap space, or would he go elsewhere for less? That's an off-season question.
Yep.
Shots in the first quarter. He also had 4 blocks earlier this year against the Denver Nuggets. But that is the ever-dangerous Vince Carter. He had 1 triple back in the first quarter, and those are his first points since that 9-point first quarter outburst. Only has 9 block shots on the year. Carter for 3. Kaboom. Vince Carter back-to-back triples. Remember, this is a guy that went 9 for 20 December 11th from downtown against the Memphis Grizzlies. Posey suspended for tonight's game by the NBA, and without Dwayne Wade for the 3rd time this season as Jefferson fills it up. 14 now for RJ.
An area causing problems for the Heat right now.
The Nets on the year giving up almost 100 points per game. Jason Collins, hey, he hit a long-distance shot from the corner. The 7-footer out of Stanford with his first points. Carter has 15. Wright defending Carter, who got by both Wright and Mourning for the score. Carter with 8 of his 17 points here in the 3rd quarter, and the Nets continue to roll.
Second half, but they don't want to get down too much.
Vince Carter rattles down another. Vince Carter with 10 in the quarter, 19 on the night, and the Nets now by 11.
Good try on the defense by Darrell Wright, but Carter just shot over it. That time they got a defensive 3-second, I believe, violation on the Nets.
Doliak in. Another miss for Miami is taken down by Vince Carter.
And now the Heat is settling for jump shots.
Can't let your offensive troubles frustrate you defensively, and right now the Heat caving into that. Jason Collins, in his rookie year, the whole season he had 17 threes. You talk about a guy improving in the game.
He had 1 3-point basket at the All-Star break his rookie year.
Nets up 78-65 with 8:49 to go in this game. Vince Carter on the bench right now. We don't know if he'll be coming back into the game at an undisclosed time in tonight's contest. Vince Carter was hit on the hip, and we're not talking about the cell phone version of it at all. He was actually some sort of collision during the contest. And we have a picture of him actually stretching to try to work this thing out. He's been doing it for about 2 quarters of this contest of trying to actually get that hip going. He actually came to Coach Frank right before the timeout and said he had to run back to the locker room to get some sort of treatment, try to work things out. But some discomfort for Vince Carter, who has 21 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. We'll see if he'll contribute anything else tonight. Coming up.
Jaxie has already issued some discomfort to the Heat with that stat line. There is your silver lining, even if the Heat come up short tonight.
Looked like George Gervin on that play. That's the way George Gervin used to score, the Hall of Famer.
Vince Carter, amazing, a man with the levitation abilities he has. He's authored some of the game's great dunks, but recently he's become more of a perimeter player.
Recoup from it.
So the Nets get the job. Vince Carter finds himself in the winner's circle tonight alongside Jason Jackson.
Eric, thank you very much. Vince, it's nice to get a win, period, but nice to stop 2 streaks, the 4-game losing streak and 2 to the Heat.
Yeah, it's good. It's always a pleasure to stop the bleeding. I don't care, how we get it, how ugly, how beautiful it may be. Right now, we're just trying to get as many W's as we can. We just have to take advantage of situations, and hopefully this is a building block for us moving on.
Talk about what was more impressive to you in that third quarter run where you guys went 21-0, your defense or your offense?
Our defense, definitely. I mean, I think our defense created our offense because we were able to get easy baskets, get to the free throw line, and just get moving, get running. I think gain our confidence. We've been up and down all year, and I think putting together a quarter like that is special.
Before we let you run, how's that hip? We saw you laboring with it a little bit.
I don't know what I did. Must be the wonderful weather here. No, I don't know. I'm okay. It's something minor. Just gonna go stretch it out. I went in the back just to stretch it out. I felt a lot better.
All right, take care of yourself. Happy New Year. We'll see you down the road.
Same to you. Thank you.
Right, thanks a lot, Vince. Much more to come here on Sun Sports as the Heat fall by 10 to the New Jersey Nets. Their first loss to the Nets this regular season. 91-81 the final. Stay right where you are. The Bacardi Heat postgame coming your way live here on Sun Sports.
Do it in that old style, the style that we grew accustomed to here watching a little trip back in history. We haven't seen a lot of that this season.
No, we haven't, and obviously that's something that they want to get.
The first stat that you look at, you always tell us, is assists. Were you happy with that tonight?
Oh, man. I can't really get over the double-digit mark to save my life, but I was just trying to just be a facilitator. Of course, we have one of the best in the business, but just help him out. He was hitting shots and doing his thing. So, it never hurts to have 2 guys who can distribute the ball, who's looking to just attack, but yet find other guys. And once they started hitting shots, we were able just to work off of each other.
You get double teamed every night, but it seemed that you saw the double team better tonight. Did you feel that?
Just patience instead of just forcing the play, forcing the passes, just letting it come to me. And you can't, playing them so much, you kind of have an idea where the double team's coming. So I kind of knew and felt comfortable because we played them so many times. So we were able to make it work.
Can you use this to build for tomorrow?
Definitely. You can use anything positive to build. So, we're hoping this is it.
Now, the onus has been put on Vince Carter. His shoulders have been weighing the heavy pressure of the Nets' losing streak of 4 games.